I was out of my mind. I was, by definition, thinking I was somebody that I know I am not. But I had a moment, whether it was drug-induced, alcohol-induced, or the drugs that my brain releases when I am under a lot of stress-induced, it all has the same effect. I start believing that I'm something that I'm not. Because the words that we speak when we are speaking to somebody that we know is our brother or sister, or maybe we have forgotten that they are our brother or sister, who they are and how they voted and who they believe they are or have identified with is irrelevant regarding the words that are going to come out of my mouth towards them. Because the words that I speak aren't a reflection of you or your thoughts. The words that I speak are simply a reflection of the person that I believe myself to be, no more and no less. And I have to be aware of that. I am incapable of speaking words that I do not believe reflect who I am, because human beings, we don't do that. You know what I mean? I don't say things that a fool would say knowingly, because I don't consider myself a fool. Sometimes, generally starting after 11 o'clock p.m. on a Friday night until Monday morning, I have been known in the past to lose my mind, believe that I'm a fool, therefore act like it and speak like it. But make no mistake, if somebody has a pattern of speaking in deceptive ways, it's because they are deceptive. They see themselves as a liar, and that's okay for them. If you see someone who's constantly trying to fool you or trick you, that is because they are a charlatan. You don't just act like a charlatan, you either are or you're not. You either see yourself as a loving person or an unloving person. That would determine whether you speak loving words or loveless words. See what I'm saying? How you identify is huge, huge. Our words are the form of the substance of who we are. The words help the substance of who we believe ourselves to be take shape. So anytime we speak words that are a form of fear that we are carrying, or if we are speaking violent words, aggressive words, hostile words, anytime we are speaking loveless words, words that do not come from the core of who we are, when I see people that I recognize, speak to them, we recognize that, and I can speak your language easily. If I'm not doing that, if I'm speaking words that are angry words, if I'm speaking words that are loveless words, that are somehow meant to teach you a lesson, to show you what your place is, to show you you're wrong, to laugh at you, or to warn you how you're going to get it, because I know I'm still right and you're about to really regret what you just did. If they're coming from something other than love, what that really is a callback where I'm saying, me, find you again. I'm lost. I don't know where I am. That is very different. And when I ask for that, for example, when you ask for that, you will get it. And to help somebody recognize who they are is to let them know I see you. Even when you stray away and you forget who you are, that's what we're here to help each other do, remember who we are. Escape the fajan. That ipso facto will help you remember who you are. What's the easiest way to do that? Think about this. If you voted in the last election, chances are you voted for something and against something. You voted because you wanted that and you were afraid of that, right? All of us were. We knew what we wanted and we were afraid of what would happen if we did not get what we wanted. There should be no fear in the equation, because program is a unique program because there are 9 compulsions in the human experience. Each one of us is going to have one of these compulsions. Most of us have all of the compulsions on some level, but most of us, we will have just one compulsion that will guide us through life, that will push us. It will be that compulsion that compels us to behave in unhealthy ways and in healthy ways. For example, the one would be, I am if I am perfect. I must be perfect. It is my compulsion to be perfect. If I am not perfect, I am going to find a way to be perfect, or at least to project the image of perfection, especially on a moral level. What are they afraid of? They are afraid of being judged as immoral. They are afraid of being seen as imperfect. Not so much in a physical sense, which they are, but in a, oh, I see, you're flawed. I see the chink in your armor. You, not your work, not your clothes, not your house or your kids or your career. You are flawed. You're not perfect, you're flawed. So many of the ones, for example, they voted the way they voted because they wanted to be seen, even if it's just to themselves, as doing the right thing. In the description below, there will be a link for the Fajan, so you can read more and learn more about that. And your Enneagram at a Glance, which is a handout that will help you recognize at a glance, hence the name, what type somebody is, and give you a quick reference to remember what are their hot buttons, what are they afraid of, what do they want to be seen as, what are they afraid of being seen as, what do they need, what is their compulsion that they must fulfill so they can get unstuck. You know what I'm saying? So we could talk about politics, we could not talk about politics, you could believe something opposite from what I believe, you could believe the same thing. All of that is irrelevant when it comes to the way I feel about you, because I recognize you. I see you as me. We are from the same place, we are from the same family, you're my brother, and I love you. If we can tell more people that, for example, a two, twos have to be needed. If they're not needed, what are they? So I want you to know, I need you. No matter who you vote for, no matter who you voted for, no matter how you think, no matter where you see yourself fitting in to this political landscape, I want to tell you, I want to let you know that that's irrelevant to me, because I see where you really fit in. And that's in my family, because you are my brother or my sister. You aren't going to be my brother or my sister, but I want to let you know that and come with that attitude. I want to identify with you, because that's what we are. That's the truth of it. And we kind of know all of this in a metaphysical, existential way. Many of us already know that, but we aren't practicing it. Remember that when you think unloving thoughts, the easiest way to break that pattern and to reprogram your thoughts is to reprogram your words, because just as our words are a reflection of our thoughts, and the number one thing that affects our words is our thoughts, the number one thing that affects our thoughts is our words. That goes in reverse. So if I just go around saying crazy things, I will eventually become crazy. If I say loving things, I will become more loving. If I say supportive things, positive things, whatever I keep saying, I will start to believe. We've also seen that. I can Fajan myself. And some people will say things like, no, we've all Fajaned ourselves. In fact, I Fajaned myself a couple hours ago. If we can focus on remembering during this most difficult process that a lot of us are going through, and we have to remember that half of us, one half, I mean, when I'm looking at you right now, when you're looking at me, it's either you or me. So say that out loud. It's you or me. When we're standing behind somebody in line at the grocery store, it's either them or you, and you don't know based on what they told you or what they tell you they think, how they really think. It's a very rare person who actually knows what they think. But to tell us, that's come on. So again, to learn more about the Fajan, how it's insidious. What it is the story that I put in the link it's a book that I wrote recently about Carlos the painting elephant, who has been Fajaned. Sometimes in hearing other people's story, in this book, it's an autobiography really written by the elephant. When we hear other people's story, that sometimes makes it very easy for us, or at least gives us permission to identify with that and recognize the same thing in our own life. Once we realize, for example, that all of these limitations I've been putting on myself are exactly that. I've been putting them on myself. The limitations in my life, once I unshackle myself from the chains that I have put on me, we realize how limitless we are. We can really do anything as long as we believe it. And it's amazing how when somebody tells us who we are, we start to believe that. Like my grandmother used to always tell me good things, which were not true at the time. But I eventually wanted to live up to those expectations, because we are what we believe we are. And that's reflected in our words. Whatever we believe we are comes out. There's no way to hide it. I want to reveal to everybody on a conscious and subconscious level that what I am and what I will see you as is love. Because there's nothing that we have to say that we can't say in a loving way. Once we've started there, once we have started by taking the position that is correct and seeing things the way they are, there is no problem here. It's just some people have been Fajaned. That said, I know who you really are, and I will help you recognize that. That will help us break the Fajan. Me, you know what it's like, but you are not, so you do not. That's the four. So I want to let them know, because if they have been Fajaned, remember, they were acting out of fear, we can help them break that. We have been Fajaned. Helping them break it will wake us up. Either way, it's a win-win. I don't need to speak unloving words. I don't need to teach you a lesson. I don't need to wait till things blow up in your face. None of that is coming from a loving place. That's all coming from fear. If I instead, however, decide, if you're 4, for example, to let you know, it doesn't matter to me who you voted for. What matters to me is how unique you are. And the fact that you will express yourself through your vote, through your dance, through your food, through whatever, the way you speak, the way you talk, the way you write, any way, including the way you vote, is an expression of you. As long as you're doing that as an expression of you, we are good, because you are unique, and I don't know the best expression. And until we do that, we are all going to be as you have felt. Right now we're going into a season of darkness. I'm from North Dakota. We have long days, and then half the year we have long nights. During those long nights, I don't think that the sun has abandoned me. I don't. You know, when it's a really dark night and it's been a really long night, I know without a shadow of a doubt that that sun will come up, or else I wouldn't be here. You know, none of us would.